Hello all, welcome to the Enlite's paper analysis session of toppers. Today I am discussing the GS2 paper of Archit Dongre, who has secured rank number 3 in the UPSC Civil Studies examination. So right now we are going to discuss in detail about the Polity, Governance and IR paper of Archit. So let me give a word of introduction. That is, see, he has secured a mark of 123 in the GS2 paper, and what I could see from his paper, and when I was giving a review to him, what I could see was that, see, he was always focusing on improving his paper with more examples as well as some case laws as well as articles that you can see directly in the paper that we are discussing. I am just discussing only 3 questions here, but that is enough. And let me tell you, this video will be useful for 2 type of people. One for the beginner as well as for the students who are already written 1 or 2 minutes, because there are scope for improvements after seeing his paper. Okay. So now let me start with the paper. This is the paper he has written, and yeah, this is the paper. I'm moving to the first question here. So first of all, let me discuss the, let me read out the question. That is, discuss the key challenges faced by Indian judiciary today and propose reforms to enhance judicial effectiveness, integrity and openness. Okay, so what we can see from here is like he has just written 3 lines. Okay, I am telling specifically, it's like 3 lines of introduction. This is all what it needs. Okay, like just 3 lines is very sufficient for a 10 marker as an introduction. See, if it is 15 marks, you can actually give 5 lines. So 3 or 4 lines is okay for a 10 mark question. Okay, now let me show you what he has written. Okay, he has just written a very simple introduction, because what they have asked is like, what are the challenges to the Indian judiciary? He has written, judiciary is the 3rd pillar of democracy and it ensures complete justice as mandated by the Article 142 of the Constitution. See, that's what I have referred earlier, articles, as well as some qualifiers like 3rd pillar of democracy. So it matters because an examiner actually reads the first part and he gets impressed by these type of sentences or articles. Okay, so we take the note, introduction, let it be 3 or 4 lines maximum, and try to impress the examiner from the very beginning of your answer itself. Now coming to the part, here we can very easily see that there are 2 parts in this question. One is like, what are the challenges faced by the Indian judiciary today? Okay, now let's see. Here is like, that is like the key challenges. He hadn't written like key challenges faced by the Indian judiciary. Whenever you are selecting the title, selecting the subheadings, no need of telling the entire thing as the subheading, like key challenges faced by the Indian judiciary today. No need, just like key challenges. Okay, I'm specifically for the beginners I'm telling. Okay, now what are key challenges? He has written like, it's like appointment of judges. I'm not mentioning the first point, that is very easy on, that is like the pendency of cases. Okay, and second one is appointment of judges. What you can see here is like, he has written an example. In USA, the Senate appoints, will be part of the appointment of judges. Okay, see, whatever it like, everyone knows these facts, right? But you are not actually trying to incorporate that into the paper. That is actually helping you to get more marks. So try to introduce some comparisons also in your examination paper. That's what it actually helps to make good scores in the GS2 paper. Okay, especially in the GS2 paper as well as in the GS3 paper that we'll be discussing in the coming videos. Okay, so Like then I am not telling too much about the other points. That's the third point, is the lack of judicial infrastructure. So it's like the next thing, I mean the second thing I told is like try to give examples if this best practices comparison in the world, that will be more better. Okay, now I am telling you, whenever he has written what nature, we can see is that he is actually referring to more broad perspectives of the answer. He is not actually confining his answer to the like what are the challenges. He is not like beating around the bush, or he is not concentrating too much on pendency of cases, quality of judgments, etc. He is actually going more broad. He is telling there is an issue of judicial infrastructure. Second, next point, he is telling about the general representation. Okay, general representation. See, that's the broadest view of an answer. That is what expected from some answer. Okay, now let me move to the next page. That is fifth point also he has written. Now think, this is a 10-mark question and he has written 5 in the first part and you can see 4 in the next part. That means totally 8 to 9 points. That's correct ratio for this answer. Now he has written the reform needed. If you guys was focusing on the first part, I mean the question part, here they were asking like propose reforms to enhance judicial effectiveness, integrity and openness. The question was so broad. See, reforms to enhance judicial effectiveness, integrity and openness. So see, there's a very genuine doubt from the, I will show that question again so that it will become more clear for you. Okay, that's it. Okay. So reforms to enhance judicial effectiveness, integrity and openness. See, a first thing that can come to a mind of a candidate is like, sir, should I need like reforms to enhance judicial effectiveness one part, integrity one part, openness one part. Maybe many of you are not doubting that whether I should give focus to effectiveness, integrity and openness. I am damn sure that no one is actually going to write 3 more subheadings like reforms needed for judicial effectiveness, reforms needed for integrity and reforms needed for openness. I mean, I am sure no one is going to write that. But still, I mean, see, your thought process will be like that. Sir, should I like give 2 points, 1 point each for effectiveness, integrity and openness? See, you relax your mind and just think about what reforms judiciary can make. Okay, never worry too much about every qualifier words of the question. Okay, that's what I always tell students. That will be of great help to you. So now let's see the second part. He just written like the reforms needed and written like memorandum of procedure. That means for appointment procedure, I mean it will actually help to reduce the tussle between the government as well as the judiciary. Second, about the technological inclusion. It's very broad, right? National Court of Appeal, Judges Code of Conduct. See, right now one more thing. That's the fourth thing. I mean, takeaway you can get from this answer sheet is like. See, just before I told you, you should be broad. The next, the very basic rule regarding mains answer writing is that the points must be famous. Okay. See, there are students who actually learn too much. If I am taking the case of GS2, there are students who have, maybe they have some scholarly knowledge regarding say certain cases. But that case laws may not be so much famous. Maybe it may be very technically correct, but it won't be famous. Similarly, there may be points that may be part of some legislation. Say, for example, the Vidhi legal research policy papers. They are having many points that we feel like it's so superb to write it in the answer sheet. But in the frank side, the examiner who evaluates this sheet should also know that this is a right point. So for that, always try to take the famous points or the points that are always discussed. Okay, see for example, all these points are like everyone knows this. Okay, so it will be given more marks. That's very natural. That makes the 123 marks so real. I think it's one of the toppest mark. It's not the toppest, but it is one of the toppest mark. Okay, now I'm moving to the next question. that is a question that was relevant. See, whenever we are doing something, it should be useful for everyone, right? So maybe those people who are writing the 2025 mains, if someone is seeing this one, I mean the person who is seeing the 2025 paper, going to write the 2025 paper, remember that UCC, Uniform Civil Code, was the actual light behind this question. That was very much discussed in the last year and also in this year also. So UPSC has a trend on focusing things that are going in motion or that are going in discussion during the last year. Okay, so that's if I can this is not part of the paper analysis still, but if you can see the question, that was the Public Examination Act, that was asked in the 2024 paper. See, seriously, it was like there were many issues regarding the conduct of examination by the government, by the national testing agencies. There were serious lapses happening, so it was all in news. So that was one of the reasons for asking the Public Examination Act as a question. Okay, now let's see what I told is like, see, those people who are writing this year's exam also, please be prepared with UCC. I know everyone how prepared, but just as a matter of caution, please remember that. Now let's move to the next question. The codification of personal laws is an important step to fulfill the commitment to the right to equality, which requires immense caution. Examine. Also, discuss how the constitutional courts have expanded the scope of right to marriage. See, I am not repeating all the same things. Small introduction is all needed. And see, important step. He is telling why it is important to codify the personal laws. So, here the answer paper could have included more points, but still it helps. So, first point is like helping adjudication of disputes. Yeah, because there are a lot of laws. There are a lot of religion, lot of faith, and many subtypes in it. So actually there is a serious issue of litigations that is happening, and because of there is a huge complexity also regarding the personal laws. See, for example, there is a special law for Christians or Muslim or Hindu or Sikh or Jain or Parsi, whatever it takes. So there are a number of laws. So if codification, it is very easy for the adjudication. So that's a very common logic, and he has cited some examples also, like the Shabano case or the Shaira Bono, that's the 2017 judgment, Shaira Bono judgment. Okay, that actually helped for the triple talaq, abolition. Then next is like helps identify essential religious practices. Example, Shirur Mud case. See, it also help. Okay, helping preventing discrimination, because we know that there are various laws for each sections of people. So sometimes a particular religion may be having poor maybe granting poor rights for the woman or to the adopted children or etc. So there's a issue of inequality of treatment of the woman or of the child. So it will, if a UCC is coming, it will be actually helping to bring more egalitarianism. Okay. Now helping settle marriage, divorce and property disputes. That is always he's actually talking about the personal laws. Okay. Upholding Article 14, that's the right to equality. See, try to inject all these articles, cases, etc. It's not like you should be artificially doing that, but it should come to you. So see, this actually should not give a wrong indication that some people may think that, sir, should I note down all these case laws and etc. Okay, for your reference you can note down all case laws in a particular notebook or whatever it be, but it's not like I am not asking you to go for more and more case laws. Those case laws, no one has ever referred to. It's not like that. You have enough case laws with you after your prelims examination. That's all enough for your main science rights also. Okay. Now going with the difficulty. See, a very small point he has made. That's the difficulty. That's a small heading he has made. Why he has put the heading difficulty? Because in my question there was a quote that means the codification of personal laws requires immense caution. There was a part in that question. He rightly addressed that question, but with a very small space. That's what called cleverness. Because this question is actually a 10-mark question. Normally it should have only 2 parts, and still the question had a third element. That is, the question was asking like codification of personal laws is an important step to fulfill the commitment of right to equality that he has written. Next part is like which requires immense caution. That is a slight change in my question, and I mean the slight modification I have made in my question, and he has addressed the same also. He just write why it is difficult. So, and only just 2 points he has made, and by the 2 points like difficult to codify traditions and some codified principle can be discriminating, triple talaq, etc. Okay. Now coming to the third part, he has written that is constitutional courts, how they have expanded the scope of marriage. Here I think he could have expanded more points, but see, there is a very practical sense to be covered, that is the limitation of time. That also matters, right? Because if I am examining the paper right from here, it's very easy to judge like we need more points. See, just try to fill all these 2 pages with clarity. That's all enough, and it's not possible for you to write all these points at a single time. Okay, all these points at a single time. So like coming to this one, so Shabano case, Shayarabano case, everything he has referred, but I will prefer writing like more points like this Navtej Singh Johar case. Okay, this one I am mentioning, Navtej Singh Johar case. Even though that's not directly linked to marriage, but still it can be made. Or you could mention certain other cases that allowed for the intercaste marriages, or the case laws that allowed for the live-in relationships. See, all actually expanding the horizon of marriage. Even the Navtej Singh is not directly linked with marriage, as we know. It's only regarding the IPC issues with the IPC 377. Okay, but still you could make more points. This Hadia case is a very good example. He has written that. It's a very good example. That is the Shafi Jahan case. Okay, so this case is a very good one. That is actually expanding because intercaste marriages is possible, or interreligious marriage is possible. It is spelled by the court in the Hadia case. Okay, and finally he gave a very small conclusion. It also matters. Even though it is small, it is needed. Okay. Hence, in line with Article 14, Article 19 and Article 21, that's the golden triangle rights. Okay, always use these techniques, golden triangle rights. See, the examiner will be very happy to see these examples. This is not unknown to anyone, golden triangle rights. Okay, what is golden triangle? That is Article 14, Article 19 and Article 21. It actually creates the triangle of golden. Okay, so just here has written the golden triangle rights. It will be helping people from different religion. It was not a thing that was like out of bounds. It was very common, but he made that conclusion. Okay, so that helps. Now let me move to the last question. I'm sorry for that. Okay. Various types of parliamentary interventions allow MPs to to ensure executive accountability and remediate potential issues of the people. Discuss. You can read it. Analyze how far such interventions were effective in strengthening our parliamentary democracy in the recent past. See, this is the another genre of question that UPSC normally asks. But you can see, question may be having just feels like it is having only 2 parts. Am I right or not? We can feel like it is having only 2 parts, but still they have asked for 15 marks. Normally it should be like 3 parts and 15 marks, but it always not works. Okay, because in UPSC paper, maybe even they have just given single statement and they are asking for 15 marks. It can happen. Okay, at that point of time, we need to think how to fill all the paper. Fill all these 3 pages. Okay. I will discuss that in the last. Okay, and actually you can see a very similar question that has been asked in the 2024 paper. Let me re-emphasize that. There was a question. The question was like, do you think that the cabinet form of, I'm not giving the verbatim, but still, whether the cabinet form of government has sidestepped the parliamentary form of government? This is almost similar, because the second part, how far such interventions were effective in strengthening our parliamentary democracy in the recent past. That was the very basics of that question. Okay, UPSC often asks questions. I always tell that UPSC always asks question that is related to the recent happenings. If you refer to the 2023 paper also, you can see the same regarding the deputy speaker or something. So UPSC always does this. That's not a very bad thing, it's a very good thing, okay, in fact. So here the same logic applies, 5 lines, because this is a 15-mark question. So he took that one. But here also, I'm very interested to show this one. The principle of separation of power. See, is this very uncommon for you? Everyone knows this, right? Everyone knows about the principle of separation of power, the Montesquieu theory. And he just took the chance to write that in the introduction. That's more interesting. Now let me come to the parliament intervention. That is, okay, where it is, okay, fine. That is the parliamentary interventions. What are the parliamentary interventions that is happening? Here, the next part I need to tell you. Guys, you have prepared for the prelims very well, I know. Very well, very good. That same preparation can help you in the mains also. That is like, here it was asked you to write what are the measures given by the constitution to check the executive by the parliament. I mean the the executive accountability to the parliament. You studied everything, right, in the prelims examination. That is a question hour, 0 hour. Maybe the maybe it is actually not given in the constitution, fine, but question hour, 0 hour, motions of conference, adjournment motion, parliamentary privileges, I mean the article 105. See, he has written all these static points. I am not going to discuss all these static points, but if you can see very clearly, for every point at least for the 90% of the points he is trying to write an example. So it will be very helpful for the examiner to get connected to your points. When I am actually giving feedback to Archit or for everyone, I am always telling that try to include more examples. See how it helps. See this answer you have written in a 9-minute time, right? Almost like a 9-minute time you have written. But everyone has limitations regarding the literature, I mean the language of your answer sheet. Because you are not able to convey what all you are actually meaning by this answer in a 9-minute span. So it's very difficult. But what can connect the examiner with the student is that examples. See, when I am seeing that example, okay, I am getting to know that this guy is actually referring to this one, even though I haven't understood all the sentence he has made or she has made. Okay, so that's the role of examples. Even though the static points may look, see here we need the static points, even the static points may look like very fresh. Now let's move to the second part. That was the how far it is effective. My question was how far it is effective. How far the steps of parliamentary interventions is helpful in checking the executive. He haven't written 2 parts for that. Normally a how far question could be written like a question, if it's like how far, it should be written like the positives as well as the negatives. Or in other words, it's always not positive or negative, but in other words, how far means to what extent. That means how much it is effective and how much it is not effective. That's the very essence of this how far questions. Okay, to what extent questions. How much it is effective, how much it is not effective. Normally it should be bifurcated, but he has written it like how far effective. That is also okay. How far effective? He told 1 positive, 2 positive and 1 negative points. First point was like a positive thing because members are regularly asking questions. Example about his telling about the Shashi Tharoor's question on UPSC's essay topics. Everyone knows that. It's very connecting one, right? Second, the Rafael deal question. So these examples here are written. Then adjournment motions that are actually getting used up. Then debate and deliberations, department related standing committees, brought frequent change in the budget allocation and recommendations on the PM allocation, etc. was increased. And there are some positive aspects here written, but he could actually could add some negative points also, but that is okay. But the thing I need to highlight here is like what he has written, the way forward. See, no one could see that in the question there. I haven't asked what is the way forward, but see, he has written the way forward. That's very good. I think students are actually doing the way forward. That's a very good way forward anyway, because writing way forward is a very good thing that can be done. So like very ordinary points, but still, as I told about conclusion, the thing of way forward is also very necessary. So this is all about the session, and I just need to add these things. Similarly, for the GS3 paper, we can see that Archit, his mark is, if I remember it correctly, it's 108. I think that's one of the best, or maybe the best paper that has been written in 2024 mains. And we'll be discussing the same in the coming sessions, maybe in the very next sessions itself. So that also has a scope of analysis, and you can actually get some valid points from there also. So stay tuned to our mains answer writing analysis series. Thank you.